Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long before 1975, a used world's on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends, but Long Boys Bros 1975.
This really is the wrong time for lighting to do this sort of video. Hey YouTube, Long Boys Post 1975. This is a very overdue video response to my good mate Ultramaximus. I'll put a link in the channel down below, and he is in my channel down below, in my doohickey down below, and he is in my channel list. But truth be told, this has probably been cached for a week or so anyway. Insomnia, it's a very useful tool for making videos. He did because he's an American, he's from across the pond, he's a very, very good friend of mine. Really seriously suggest you go and check him out, particularly if you like Transformers. He's an absolutely huge Transformer nut. He does comics and stuff like that as well, but his Transformer collection is absolutely insane. He's a wonderful bloke. Go and check him out and tell him I said hi, because seriously, you'll have a blast talking to this guy. Now, he did a video a while back that he linked me, and it was his top 10 favourite British sitcoms of all time. And I know it's kind of one of those weird little things that, you know, when you're kind of neighbours across the pond and stuff like that, it's interesting to see what the other individuals' TV habits are, and that you go like, oh my god, you know about that show, well, you know about that show. And what was interesting about his video was a lot of the shows weren't just necessarily sort of, you know, the mainstream staple that we export, you know, right now, such as Downton Abbey and Doctor Who. They were, you know, classics like Last of the Summer Wine and stuff like that. So I was really, really quite impressed. But I said I do my top 10 favourite list of US sitcoms. But me, of course, there's a stipulation. It's interesting because there are many, many classic, great, you know, shows. It's too much more than often. There's this big, you know, our comedy's better than yours. Your comedy's better than mine. And it's, you can't enjoy or appreciate something for the angle it was intended or where it came from, the audience it was marketed at the time. Specifically, more so when you take stuff like, you know, the 80s and dysfunctional blue-collar families and stuff like that. I've just given away one of my shows there. But my top 10 list might be a little bit interesting in the sense that, you know, stuff is classic, stuff is on TV. I love stuff like MASH, you know, there's no denying that MASH is amazing. It was so popular, it ran longer than the war it was based on. You know, I love stuff like that. But at the same time, this is my go-to list, you know. Some of them, I'm not saying there's anything deep in here. I'm not saying, you know, you're going to walk away from this and look and go, that Lawn Boy bloke, seriously, I reckon he can split the atom. No, it's not. It's my go-to list. You know, you can laugh, you can poke fun, whatever, but I'm going to share my go-to list of, you know, box sets that I have that, you know, if I'm bored and there's nothing on telly, I will always reach for one of these 10 shows. Can't put them specifically in a massive sort of order as such, but the top London count, Dave, that was 5. The top 3 shows are my 3 amazing favourite US sitcoms of all time. Now, once again, people, it's just a bit of fun. It's not about competing and stuff like that, but I'm not going to go too deep in any of this. I'm just going to say, you know, why I like them. But number 10, Family Guy. Yes, people chastise it, criticise it, poke fun at it and say it's lost its sense of humour, you know, it's just a series of segue, you know, jokes. I don't care. I still find something hugely entertaining and watch about this. I find something just unplug your brain and have a blast. It's, you know, alright, occasionally there's political statements and stuff in there, but the bottom line is, I don't care what anyone says, I still find Family Guy really, really funny. I think it's just, you know, humour, particularly, you know, cartoon humour that's not afraid to, you know, push the boundaries and take itself too seriously with the second one nicely, is, we still need it because we're so politically correct, you know. We shouldn't have to be offensive and stuff like that, and we shouldn't be offensive, but sometimes we take ourselves so seriously, you know, as a, you know, a society that it's damaging free speech. Ooh, that was deep. Number 9, South Park. Again, people say this jumped the shark a long time ago. I don't care. I still find South Park hugely relevant. It's as crass, more crass than Family Guy, but the fact that they film it almost on a weekly basis, and there are always hot topics of, you know, sort of news and politics in here, but done just with such a wonderful, I couldn't give a fuck sense of humour. Sorry people, but I still think South Park is one of the funniest and most relevant shows on TV, infinitely quotable, and I love and adore this show. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, that's it for cartoons. What, no Simpsons, Dave? What, no Futurama? No, that's it for cartoons, those two. This one, well, people say it's run too long. I don't care. Supernatural, number 8. Supernatural is the perfect example of a show that has real wit, intelligence, observation, pop culture, and just chemistry between the two actors. Plus, I love horror. I love the fact that, you know, they follow this set of rules for, you know, dispatching demons and all this stuff. And I just think the chemistry between these two blokes is absolutely fantastic. I love and adore this show, and yes, it's obviously going to end soon, you know, sometime soon, but Supernatural to me is basically, it's like Buffy for adults. It's hands down the best horror show, period, on TV of recent and most years, going way back in the day. 7, I may have lost count already. How I Met Your Mother, again, forget the appalling final episode, although apparently the DVD cut has an alternative ending, so not this one. We'll see where that goes. But How I Met Your Mother definitely ran too long, but there's no denying Barney Stinson and just the humour in this. And yes, it's crass and it's just, oh, I'm a bloke, I just want to nail chicks, I just want to shag. I don't care. This has some genuine moments. The song they sing, you know, Nothing Suits Me Like a Suit in 100th episode, is absolutely genius. So I can't, you know, I'm not saying it's up there with Seinfeld, just gave another one of my shows away, but there's no denying that How I Met Your Mother is one of the best sitcoms of recent years, and it really annoys me that it gets compared to Friends, because it's far superior, even for its bad ending. Next one, this is going to really surprise you. I don't care. I love 6, right? I love 2.5 Men. I think 2.5 Men is brilliant. Alright, so it's not Charlie anymore. And this is what I like about it. Charlie just plays Charlie. He makes me want to just drink hard liquor, wear bowling shirts and Bermuda shorts. I love it. I love it. Again, a shag hound, you know, much like Barney Stinson, although I dare say this bloke's even worse. I just think it's hilarious, you know. There's nothing intelligent, you know, about it, but there is witty writing, and it is one of those things that if I'm in a bad mood, I can just cane through my entire series of 2.5 Men and have a good time. Right, 5. Ooh. 5 would be The Adventures of Pete and Pete, which you could argue was a kid show from Nickelodeon in the very early 90s. There are 3 seasons, only the first 2 seasons came out on DVD, and they're not available in this country. I bought mine when I lived in Canada. Think just incredible. 2 levels of, you know, humour. One aimed at kids, because obviously Nickelodeon is a kids channel. The second one clearly aimed at adults with deeper themes running through it. Amazing guest stars, absolutely amazing guest stars, like, you know, Iggy Pop, LL Cool J, just completely and utterly surreal, through the roof episodes. I mean, he gets a marshmallow president stuck up his nose and looks at his electricity clock and can see through time. Brilliant. Shame you can't buy the 3rd season, but this is what I watched at college, under the influence, if you know what I mean, and I bunked off college to watch the show Nickelodeon's absolutely fantastic. I'm pretty sure there would be no Malcolm in the Middle, many other shows breaking the 4th wall, if it wasn't for this one. What are we on to now? 4, I completely lost count. Frasier, I absolutely love and adore Frasier. Follow on from Cheers, obviously more pompous, more pretentious. Not as, you know, well, it is crass, some of it. Not as, how do I say this? In the gutter humour that Cheers was, even though Cheers wasn't really, but just some of the stuff in this is so intelligent, so observational, you know. I kind of think it's similar to Seinfeld in some ways, but it certainly isn't a show about nothing. But there are elements of that day-to-day life observation thing going on in this. But Frasier was generally one of those shows that, you know, when we get to the top, you know, 3, you'll understand where this statement's coming from, more so them, that I was so upset when it got cancelled. Like, I was absolutely gutted and devastated. Next one, following on from Frasier, no surprises there, Cheers. Cheers blew my mind as a kid. I first came across it in the very late 80s when I worked for a pub down the road, and I used to cycle home on a Friday night just to catch the last 15 minutes of it, you know, that famous bar in Boston. It was just so welcoming, it was just so friendly. Everyone wanted a place like that you could hang out in. Brilliant, brilliant humour. Just an ensemble cast that blew your mind. 2, might surprise you that this isn't number 1, Seinfeld, the show about nothing. I just think the fact that you can make basically 4 dysfunctional characters who aren't very... Yeah, sorry about that. Not just a change of battery, a change of camera. Oh my god, my handheld camera actually died. I don't know if it's got, you know, fried batteries or something like that, or a corrupt SD card, but determined to finish this video. Anyway, where was I? Seinfeld. Yeah, you might be surprised that this isn't my favourite sitcom of all time, but you probably will understand why it's not when I show you what is a US sitcom, I should say. Oh, I tore a sleeve. Yeah, as I said, dysfunctional characters, they're not particularly nice, but it's just a show of brilliant, wonderful observations, but stuff that affects us in the day-to-day world, you know, stuff like who gets the right to back into a parking space first, you know. George Costanza, horribly selfish person, but, you know, just the fact that, you know, he gets a disabled bathroom, you know, in his office. He finds a way to sleep under his desk. You know, there's nothing likable about that person, but the show is just so compelling to watch, and hands down just some of the best observations and just the funniest stuff. And it annoys me that this show never got more respect than it deserved in England. It had like a graveyard slot at like 2 o'clock in the morning on Sky 1 or something, or BBC 2 before that. And it wasn't until I went to Canada for the first time on, you know, holiday or vacation that I found out that it was such a big show. Not that that mattered to me, it was just like, finally this show's getting the appreciation it deserved. It was never loved to the degree it deserves in the UK, even though you can buy all the box sets. But the one that might really surprise you is Married with Children is my favourite. Whether this list was, you know, kind of more delve into my go-to sitcoms as opposed to the best ones, there's no denying it. This is my favourite US sitcom of all time. Kind of groundbreaking at the time, kind of like Roseanne in the sense that most sitcoms at the time didn't portray this family, albeit not very realistically, but they are, you know, that blue-collar family. These people didn't get a sitcom back then. Al Bundy is an absolute legend to me. I have a No Ma'am t-shirt, but I break it out on very rare occasions because I don't want to wear it out. Church of No Man's a fantastic episode, but yeah, it's just dysfunctional family that, you know, well, dysfunctional is beyond the descriptive term that they deserve, but hands down one of my favourite sitcoms, period, simply because I loved it. It was on before Tour of Duty on a Saturday night when I was too young to appreciate it on ITV, and it wasn't until Sky 1 decided to run it through its entirety, again, every episode, every weekday, until it actually caught up with the final season and ended. And my mate who watched it in Australia, where it was bigger than it was in the UK, there is an episode with Bill Oddie, 2 episodes, like, you know, linked up that they filmed in the UK, and yeah, he said, you got to watch this show. And I was so passionate about this show, I rushed home. I used to go to work early, you know, and do overtime on a Saturday, so I could rush home from work and watch all of them. I fell in love with it. The first season hooked me in, but there's no denying once you get to season 3, season 4, it's absolutely fantastic. Al Bundy's just so downtrodden, so not respected by his family or anyone. He never gets the rewards that he's due, but my God, he's such a likeable bloke, because I guess everyone sees a bit of themselves in him. But yeah, so that's my 10 favourite, you know, or my 10 most watched US sitcoms at the moment. This was just a bit of fun in response to Ultramaximus, but if you're English, what are yours? And if you're American, what are you, or North American, you know, Canada as well, Commonwealth, what are your favourite English shows? Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.